Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection, coming to you live from the wonderful studios of Best FM in Kingston, Jamaica. Good morning to those who have joined us on air and online. Thank you to those who have made the effort to spend some time with us this morning. This is your host, Minette Lawrence, Pastor Percival, your main host for the week and days ago. I certainly hope that you're in fighting fit shape this morning. Thank you and good morning to those in studio. Hi, Mr. Engineer. I see the hair has grown. I tell you, you must be the envy of several women these days. You see how much hair has grown on the man's head in the short time I was looking. And Mr. Producer, welcome back. And thank you for getting me here. Pastor Percival, how are you?
I'm great, Awesome. I'm great.
You
It's
know,
good to have you back.
Well, let me tell you, there are some words. When you use them, like great and awesome, there need to be a big smile on your face.
No.
You need to be looking the part of great and awesome. So let's start again. Pastor Percival, how are you?
I am good. I'm great. I'm great and awesome.
You downgrade the word, but you upgrade the spirit. I love it. Yes.
No,
it's
man,
good
we're
to
good.
be back.
Wonderful. Yep. God is good.
All the time.
Right. And boy, may I tell you, it's been interesting. Hallelujah.
Well, I don't even know what that means because I looked in a couple of times.
Yes.
I even tried to call on one occasion.
You mean
Yeah,
call on
the
the
internet
WhatsApp line?
The internet was terrible.
Oh, you
Terrible.
had rolling electricity.
No, on that occasion, because where I was load shedding that Jamaica kicked to the curb in the 70s
is
alive and well
in where you
in
were
some
at.
other parts of the world. Yeah.
Yes, oh yeah.
Let me tell you, if you know what, we'll dive into it at a later time because you and I love to talk about
some we take for granted.
Spiritual activity. But let me tell you, the devil is alive and well in every part of the world that you go to. He's doing stuff, and it's just so curious to observe that he has the same playbook. He just rotates it depending on what will work.
And what is happening at that point in time.
He just rotates it.
He comes to do what he needs to do.
Absolutely.
And deny.
Steal, kill, and destroy.
All right.
Don't get any simpler than that.
So when we have that, when we recognize his playbook, then we can deal with him.
They can deal with it.
Yeah.
And absolutely the idea that we're all connected across the universe. Mankind is one family in the eyes of the Creator. It means that one family member can send a thing over to the next one when you see a certain trouble brewing.
That's true.
If you are communicating and connected like that, you can solve huge problems.
And if you understand,
just by sharing.
And if you understand the fact that we are connected by the Spirit of God. I just speak about that as somebody who has done ministry in different countries, all over the world. Just blow my mind every time.
Yeah, one spirit.
One spirit.
Speaking one language.
One spirit.
Yeah, man,
one spirit to go and say,
it.
like I go on the place. This happened to me this week. I saw a lady and I says, I'm in the supermarket. And I see this lady and I smile. And she said, you're a priest. And I said, no, I'm a pastor. And she said, sure, are you?
Same thing.
He said, no.
Priest in one culture, pastor in another.
Said, no.
Serving God. It's sure.
And then I met another person on that weekend we're at. And we're saying hello. And I shake the man. The man say, a pastor, right? So I said, him say, I feel it. There's something about the Spirit of God when it is inside of you.
Yeah,
that
makes itself known to those who are receptive.
Yeah, man.
So you were kind of jumping at the deep end. It's 6:30 a.m. I was here meditating on the lovely Miss Trishana Henry, the artist who did the monument to slavery. And I want to talk a little bit about that when we come back on air.
Yeah.
26-year-old teacher from in Israel, Clarendon or St. Catherine. We'll get the details. It was in yesterday's paper. I don't know if you spent any time on it.
No, I saw it. But there are a lot of things we were dealing with. We went back into Proverbs yesterday.
All right, let's take the 6:30 break. We'll be right back. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the Morning Connection.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328. That is 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Fearless and love more. Culture open up the door.
Live, camera, volume. Live it up Fridays on Best 100 FM. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. with I, Ibi Lion, each and every Friday, giving you the better vibes heard everywhere.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up Show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years. Compellingly define, educate, and liberate the younger generation. Tune in.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and Best FM 100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, a.k.a. the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Orange Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats.
Good morning and welcome back. I was chastising my beloved Pastor Percival for not calling me up and keeping me fully apprised of the goings-on in Jamaica. And boy, I tell you, I love him even more because he told me why. So much was going on that he said, you know what? Let Minette and Lowell enjoy their mission.
Yeah, we're not on mission. Yeah, well.
Time enough. The scripture tells you that there is enough drama for each day of its own. You don't need to.
Sufficient to the day.
Sufficient to the day.
Is the evil thereof.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to try to draw it into your here and now.
Mm-mm.
Aha. One of the things that I was not able to do with efficiency was to get the download the newspaper and the headline say, even now, I'm looking at it, I'm seeing one headline that said the dead was robbed. This who robbed the dead. But I can't trust.
We focused on it yesterday. Gone, the guys who were the 5 young men who were on the motorcycle who died.
Oh, jeez. Grief-stricken relatives, more than 5 killed in crash, say passers-by stole cash and cell phones from victims. Oh, my God. We've sunken to a new low.
Yeah, so...
I mean, none of that is new in terms of,
and we spoke about Haiti.
Jesus.
We spoke about Haiti.
Yeah.
And what is happening.
I was doing a lot of prayers about Haiti.
And somebody...
Haiti's time has come.
Somebody pointed out, do you know why there's what's happening in Haiti? Because Haiti is a rich country in terms of minerals
Natural
and
resources.
and things. And so everybody now lining up because they have the second highest.
To rob the dead. Again, the same headline.
Yeah, so...
They think Haiti is dead, so you can just take without... The reason people rob the dead is because there are no living accusers. You strip from the body because you don't expect the owner to come and say, you took from me. And that is a myth and a fallacy that we do need to address, not in terms of just the natural experience of plundering the dead, but for persons to understand that when you take what is not yours, there are consequences which are inevitable, whether there is a living accuser or not. It's one of the reasons when you read Old Testament scriptures and the offerings are being spoken of, and God is instructing Moses what offering has to be made for which transgression. The transgressions are listed as sins against God. When you find something that's not yours and you fail to deliver it to the true owner, when you see something happening and you know that it will cause harm and damage to a third party, you do nothing about it. When you are in a position of trust and confidence and you betray that trust by treating badly with the things that are in your care, no one actually see you doing what you're doing.
Yeah, but there's a spiritual
But
thing.
the sins are not against mankind. The sins are against God, against the laws of God, which are set to maintain balance and harmony in the universe.
No, it's interesting that you say that, because that is something that during the time I wanted, kept focusing on people, going back to principles, how we need to live, remembering that, hey, I watch you. He's watching you. There's a point of accountability for every single person in regards to it.
I mean, this notion, and many persons, like when you say God is watching, you're like, when was the last time you actually slap your hand as you did something wrong? People think of it in terms of when my parents are away, I can do whatever I like in the house and they don't see it. And, barring cameras, which are now very popular, but we've cultured ourselves in the belief that if we are acting based on our own imagination and desires, and there is no, like the victimless crime, there is no known or identifiable victim of your selfishness or your misbehavior, that it goes without consequence. And I think that is the narrative that we've got to upset, that we have to disturb, so persons can be more conscious in themselves that my urging, my need to behave in accordance with some laws that speak to decency, truth, justice, whatever, that it is necessary for my well-being that I behave differently. It's not, don't focus on the punishment or the accuser or who may be disturbed by your conduct. Remember that everything you do affects you, first and foremost. So yeah,
the accountability element in it, but that attitude that we have was at the very beginning when Cain dust out Abel and figured that nobody had seen, and him said, God asked him, where is your brother? Him said, my brother's keeper. God says, but the blood is crying out. And those things must cause us as individuals as I said, to check ourselves, to check ourselves, to check ourselves. Remember, we are held accountable. I'm in the Psalms. Who is a man who fears the Lord with awe-inspired reverence and worships him with submissive wonder? When you do that, he says he will teach him through his word in the way he should go. His soul will dwell in prosperity and goodness, and his descendants will inherit 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 the land. The secret of the wise counsel of the Lord is for those who fear him, and he will let them know his covenant and reveal to them through his word its deeper inner meaning. My eyes are continually towards the Lord. Well, you will bring my feet out of the net. Turn to me, Lord, and be gracious to me. Just the concept that for me personal, everybody, just the fear of the Lord and what it means in terms of our personal account, we call it, and the things as you've been speaking to. It's so important, so important, so important, so important that we recognize that for us as individuals really is the single most important thing that we need to do in order for it to be well with us in the end. Recognizing that, hey, the person who has created all of what we see is holding it intention for us, and we have a part that we need to play. And just don't forget the simple fact that we are interdependent beings, creatures on each other. And so that's important. Hold that intention every time you are thinking of doing something. What are the consequences for me, but what will be the consequences and the ripple effect in terms of those that I'm interacting with? And so as you spoke about those people who robbing the dead, and I'm going, oh, we get to him and then, oh, it always comes back to us in the end.
When you speak about the fear of the Lord, you know, it may oftentimes it's a very familiar phrase. We hear it all the time. Both it's like, first principle, beginning of wisdom. It is the fear of the Lord. It's important that we associate that fear of the Lord with the knowledge of the Lord. The fear of the Lord doesn't exist in a vacuum. Meaning, it's not enough to say, boy, I fear God, and so I won't do this or that. That fear is meaningless without the knowledge of who he is and how it is that he has set things. So I feel we're at a place in our own self-discovery, and by this I mean Jamaica as a nation as well as each individual one of us. We're at a place in our journey of self-discovery where we need to pursue and acquire a lot more information, a lot more knowledge about who God is and how it is that he has set things to go. That ignorance, the ignorance which we demonstrate, is causing a lot of the pain and the confusion which we are experiencing. You talk about, let's back to the robbing of the dead business, which is silent, ugly, nasty work. The other person who see you doing it would be your accomplice. But let me tell you, the conscience that exists in us, all of us, that conscience is fueled by the same Spirit of God that made us. That can give you such nightmares and horrors that you would wish a policeman did see you and tell you to put it down.
And tell you to stop.
And then even when you throw away the thing or sell it or whatever it is you choose to do with it, you will have no peace. When that is happening to you, and I'm speaking now to those of us who tend to believe that when we do things in the dark, it has no consequences. When you find yourself being tormented by the thoughts that come to you as a consequence of your own behavior, you don't have to give up or feel or condemn yourself, because there's no condemnation in Christ. This is where you run to the rock. This is where you have to make that conscious decision. And it's a part of how our spirituality develops.
Mm-hmm.
In all of us, there's usually some activity that leads us into a place of crisis. Some people spiral into depression and can't find their way back.
Mm-hmm.
Some recognize the signs of it, the spirituality of it, and begin to seek that source that can give you the comfort that will get you past that type of anxiety in the spirit. I'm speaking on it this morning because I know that we, all of us, have to pull ourselves up by the proverbial bootstraps, because you come into this world, if you are fortunate to be born into circumstances of wealth and ease, your family is well positioned and can give you a soft landing.
A soft landing, I
then
like that.
that will help you on the material side, but it will not help you on the spiritual self-development side.
It can't, because everybody have to work out their salvation.
You have to work it out.
Fear and
How you
trembling.
know so? Absolutely. So no matter how you land in this realm, whether you came into, you were well received by loving, doting parents and a whole network of people who are ready to just pamper you into adulthood, or you're born under some gritty circumstances where, as you are delivered of your mother's body, she have to get up, go look after house, go find work, and you box round from pillar to post, as it might say. Sometimes you're on the roadside trying to find your own food. Whatever the situation might be, there is your material circumstances, but there is still that need to discover who you are as an individual, as a person, as a spirit being, and make some choices that will give you a good place in the world. I'm speaking like this because even though we're in our 60th year of independence, we're still newborns. I feel it in my spirit when I look at what is happening all across the different spheres of activities in Jamaica. You're still seeing milk teeth. And we have to very quickly now move from that position, because the world is changing rapidly around us, and many more things. If you thought that you were a little island isolated 50 years ago, today you're in the middle of a tornado, and many things are passing through, over, under. Jamaica is in the heart of so many things, but Jamaica is a powerful place that has great influence and impact. But if the people are not strengthened in their backbone to hold their position in this tornado, we will be crushed.
And how do we hold our
position?
Knowledge.
It always it begins and it ends with knowledge. Notice we don't say education, we say knowledge, because you look at what is happening in the Ministry of Education, which should be the gatekeeper for how Jamaicans pursue, acquire, and utilize knowledge. We're seeing the same turmoil, because the blind cannot lead the blind except into a ditch.
You've gone spiritual, you've gone scripture.
No, man, we've gone into the disabled law. the blind can't lead the blind. So unless those who are keeping the gates are themselves in that mode of pursuing, acquiring, and utilizing knowledge in the way that it is intended to work. Because there are some set laws, and the laws are discoverable, because God didn't throw us down here and leave us to, sink or swim. He set the laws, and he showed us enough of what we need to do, but there is something we need to do.
No, but he showed us an information that you remember in Romans, when Paul was making this major treatise. He says, God has revealed himself in everything, but we choose to do. Otherwise, I say, go and go do your thing. No, but it is. I find this amazing all the time. So God says, okay, you don't have to go far. Just look in nature. Look what is happening. And we said,
Look, listen, feel.
Yes, we said,
We have all the tools.
and that's why he give us the senses.
Yes.
The heavens declare the glory of God, the firmament speak of his handiwork, day unto day, utter it, night unto night. And we've seen it, and it is speaking, and it is encouraging us, and we say, no. Which I find that we do this all the time. There are things that are in front of us. There's what I call common sense. But common sense has become very expensive sense.
Rare.
Because
become a collector's item.
Right.
Some people have it in and just put it on the shelf in a box.
Some things that, yeah, because when we think of a
New
lot of
inbox.
things that are happening, which common sense said that, but you said, no, man, there must be more. There must be more. So we just do our thing, and God say, all right, it's there, I've revealed it, but if you don't want to accept what I have given, it's only the power on our own. And he says, therefore, he has left them up to their own devices, which is
but
lead.
still, because he is merciful, he sends his prophets and he sends his teachers.
And him keep reminding
and he
us.
keeps, those who have ears to hear.
Mm-hmm. Had an interesting conversation yesterday with, he's listening probably, the gentleman from up Lawrence Tavern, and he came with the 9 miles in thing, and I says, my dear brother, do you believe that if we turn around from where we're going, as is recorded in scripture, that God will indeed hold him on? He said, no. And I got him. It's okay. God has revealed some things to us.
Yes, but whenever you have those conversations about judgment, I find that it can be counterproductive in the sense that we must have the revelation, the knowledge that there is always a judgment.
Yes.
God expresses himself and carries out his word on 2 levels all the time. He's judging the nations and he's judging individuals, because individuals make up nations. And a nation can be spared, but many individuals go down.
True.
So whenever you're having that conversation about judgment, you're going to have somebody speaking to the judgment that is passed on a nation, and another person is going to be thinking about the judgment that is passed on individuals.
And we need to learn to separate.
And we need to, absolutely, because a nation can be spared, and he said it in his word, there's always the remnant. You, the individual, seek to be in the remnant, because we're going to see many being judged and going down. We're going to see it. It must happen. But you, depending on who you are, if you're in the remnant, you will see it. You'll see others going down. And if you're not in the remnant, you yourself will gonna go down, and for you is judgment. And when you are judged as an individual and you go down, as far as you're concerned, the nation has gone down.
Yeah.
So I tend to...
But you know what was interesting?
Yeah.
Even when the children of Israel were in exile.
Yes.
The Jeremiah passage.
Oh, yes.
I
My
know the
favorite
plans
letter.
I know the
Yes.
plans I have for you. It was because of their disobedience why they were under
As a nation, the nation was under judgment.
But then he says, okay, you're hearing that, but guess what? Even though you're in exile, there's prosperity that will come to the individuals if they are obedient.
Right. And that's why I was emphasizing that need always to be mindful that for the man who dies, it's the end of the world. No disputing that. You can't tell anybody otherwise. It is the end of the world. You have left it. It is no more. But to those who survive, you are a part of the remnant. And through you, your nation can rise.
He always does that. So even the scripture that we quote a lot of time, if my people are called by my name and humble themselves, is speaking to the people who are a part
both
of
the individual and the nation, because through one man, even if you go back to Abraham and understand what that means, through one man a nation can be blessed. Humanity can be blessed. I love that about the kingdom of God, because
love
it
that about my
gives
father.
so much power to individuals. You must know that through you, singular you,
Mhm.
your whole nation can arise. And if we can, that's the confidence. This season, I went off on mission and I come back. I am bolder. I am moving at another level. And the message that I want to pound home to my people, to everyone who is listening, is that you must feel that strength within you and acquire that knowledge that empowers you to be the change that you want to see.
That's interesting because and people have been listening the week I started it. What about your friends?
Yes.
Where are your friends? Because that's important. Then yesterday, the Tuesday, I shared this thing about this little girl who was in a church and she was in Sunday school and she was fearful. And she says, but what is happening here? It needs to be spread to more children. And what she did, the pastor said to her, we don't have any money. She just says, okay. She was 6 when she raised that with him. She died when she was 8. But at her funeral, her mom says, oh, this is for you, given to the pastor. The little girl, all of this time, was saving her pennies. And she wrote a note and says, this is my contribution to enlarging the ministry that we do to children. And you know what it did? It
Building a
became the
bigger place.
57 cents was multiplied. Because she says, that's what I can do. And later on, it became the Mini Might Foundation. They had a church now, 5,600 people. They had built a hospital that catered to 80,000 people. And then through that 57 cents, that was multiplied. Over 2,000 young people had gone to tertiary education. So I was saying to people,
One,
your one in God's hand is multiplied. And we know of that little boy with his
lunch.
That God used it and says, and
there's a
bless it.
pattern.
Yeah.
And it's a pattern that is relevant and can be used today.
Yeah.
I know that story that you spoke of. Yes. And it tells you, but look at the partnership that it gave birth to. Everyone drawn to the story of a dying little girl leaving her little handful of change for her church wanted to participate in bringing it to life.
And it
so
did.
the one drew so many to the idea, and and even today, I'm sure, because I think what they did was, they were selling the coins. They made it into 1 cent, and you just keep everything that as it grow, you keep. So it's an amazing story of how people can work together when they are motivated by the right sentiment. And it began with this little girl's dream that more people could be a part of
what she
sharing
was
in the gospel.
Yeah. And then
It's a little black girl too, by the way.
Yeah, and the little
You gotta know these things because guess what happened? When you find yourself as part of a group that is always discriminated against, victimized, can't seem to move from the bottom of the ladder, when you find that that's who your people are and that's where you fall in the world of man, you need some extra encouragement and empowerment to pull yourself, and as you say, what about your friends? Pull yourself and those who are of
like-minded.
Absolutely, to
That
power
you can
yourself
soar.
to
They can soar as
upward.
eagles. And then yesterday we went to Proverbs 6. What are the things that God doesn't like? The 6 things.
Oh my God. No, Percival. Tom, Ma, you're freaking me out now. Let me show you something that I earmark it to talk about the 6 things and the deadly 7.
Yeah, man, we did. We went to see with it yesterday. Myself and Mike. And Mike was just making it
Michael
up.
was with you for the yesterday as well?
It was with me on phone.
Okay.
But we were just sharing about it, and we were just sharing some of the things. The things that God says
See it
yes,
here.
I know. Yeah, man, that's what we
7 are an abomination to him, but those 6. Yeah.
Yes, my dear. A proud look.
The proud look.
The
How
Lying
often
to,
have we seen the proud
oh
look?
gee, cause us problem. It's causing us problem in this nation. And it's so interesting how
The
they were
lying
built
tongue.
on boom, bam, bam, bam.
Yep.
So finally,
Did you like that look you got from the producer?
hi, prestige producer.
All right, yeah, it's 7 o'clock. We're getting excited in our own narrative here, but stay with us. We're gonna be right back.
You're simply the You're simply the
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Jamaica's teachers are among the best in the world and make invaluable contributions to national development almost every day. To highlight the efforts of extraordinary teachers each year, local manufacturing and distribution company LASCO, in partnership with the Ministry of Education and Youth and the Jamaica Teaching Council, staged the Teacher of the Year Awards. 2023 Teacher of the Year awardee Morant Bay Primary School's Jody Brown was recently a guest on JIS Radio's online discussion program Studio 58A and shared with host Vaughn Davis stories from his journey in education. We bring you an excerpt of their interview.
How do you overcome those down days? The days when it's difficult, the days when the picnic them I give peer trouble, the days when boy it just seem like say the rank profession this me now. I can't manage this no more. Because I think that's the biggest challenge most persons feel. Oh, I'm gonna deal with them whole heap of picnic and get them to learn and get them to respect me and meet all of our targets and get the passes and all of those things and the days when the children not cooperate and so on. How do you overcome those down days, Jody? Talk to me. How do you do it?
For me, what I do is that God blessed me. What happens is that God blessed me with a very, very, very nice family. So my wife and my son at the time, now I have 2 children, 2 sons. One is a little baby boy, 6 months old. But whenever I was down, I would find my wife and I would sit and I would talk about everything. And being the very supportive wife that she is, Steph Marie, she actually listens and then gives me advice. Because the thing is, she's also a teacher. She's now the vice principal for the school that I'm working at. And because she had more experience in the teaching profession than me, she would give me advice based on the things that she was going through or she would have gone through. And so she was able to help me to overcome some of these things. I have had persons, like I said, the other teachers now who were there would have been in the system to say, Jody, these things will happen, but don't worry yourself. Because guess what? At the end of the day, you are going to make it. Also, and I'm going to use a story to show you how I get through. When I just came to Morant Bay Primary School, I was given a grade 3 class. And these children, they were slow readers and also non-readers. Mm-hmm. And so I took the child, one child, I said, go and touch the letter A for me. Gave her a letter alphabet chart and I said, go and touch the letter A for me. And she went up to the board very happily and she touched M. And she was like very excited, sir, I touched it. And I was like, okay, then this is what I have to deal with. And, going through trying to get the things done, doing a lot of research, listening to how these children talk, trying to become like them, I realized that they're listening to certain cartoons, they watch certain things, and I started watching those things and I went back into the classroom and I used those things to actually teach them. And I used to write some nice little love note to my wife as she was working at the school. But I never fret, I wasn't worried because the children could not read. And so I would take to my wife. But one day I was actually writing something. And while you're writing, you're reading. But for some reason, the reading was very audible. I could actually hear the words out of my head. And I was like, okay, then, yes, Julie, I know you're. And it was when I turned around, I saw some children actually reading the notes that I was actually sending to my wife. And I had to stop because I'm working, but at the time while you're doing it, it's as if you're not seeing the results. months. But when I heard them reading the little love note that I was sending, I said to myself, this is actually working. And at that time, something just said to me, Jody, stay in this. You can help these children. You can help them.
2023 Teacher of the Year awardee Morant Bay Primary School's Jody Brown, speaking in an interview with Studio 58A host Vaughn Davis. Catch the full interview on our Facebook and YouTube pages at Jamaica Information Service. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Half a tree, one and drive, half a tree. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
Yeah, hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new. For them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. Yeah, hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Try and call him, cause trust me.
What a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-3825-8 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Vidjam Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Vidjam Printers, your best choice in printing.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us at 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats. Best.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Connection, and welcome back to Miss Minette, the beautiful Miss Minette, who really enjoyed herself and has come back very invigorated, charged up, and ready to take on the world.
Hey,
Yes.
I wonder why you said that. Why you said that?
But not true, man. When you go away and where you went to, you come back with a bigger vision for
source
what
of
is
the-
possible.
I went to the source of the fire
I got to fire.
to get more power
Yes, what it
and
is.
more grace.
So that's, yeah,
More
so
power, more grace.
you were missed.
Yeah, I did miss being with you guys, charting a path for the morning.
I know that you miss me, you know.
Oh, you know.
I mean,
I
no,
tried
say-
to call you.
and not only that, I know you miss me, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I missed you too.
But I figured that, we talk about the pursuit of knowledge and the acquisition of the right knowledge to kind of be impactful in whatever is happening here. It's worth the investment of time. So I had to make it. But I knew that the program was in good hands and that you would have fun. Did you have fun?
Yes, ma'am. I had great fun. I had great
All
fun
right.
because
Well, whenever you're away, I call you up and butter you and make sure that you're okay. Feel free to do the same.
yeah, but we were it was just recounting what had happened this week in terms of what we shared and the principles. And yesterday, which was our morning of prayer, and our guest was Pastor Michael who called in. But
Aiken, Michael
yes,
Aiken.
yeah. No, so we started with Psalms 91, 1 and 2, and then we went into Proverbs 6, which you highlighted, and we took that to task in terms of we see a lot of these things being manifested personally, but even in regards to the national level, in terms of some of the things that we do, like running to make plans or running to do evil.
Well,
The more things change, the more they remain the same.
But what we're seeing is that the character of man is at the heart of how nations arise or fall. It's at the heart of how families prosper or fall. And it's at the heart of how you can, in your own time, enjoy a good life. Which I think when it comes down to it, we arrive in this realm and if we survive our childhood and find ourselves on the brink of adulthood, needing to chart a course for ourselves, we want to have a good life. We want to have a safe and secure way to earn a living. We want to be in a community with persons who are supportive and loving, where you feel safe. And you want to, in your time as an elder, be respected and treated well and, sort of eased into your departure from this realm. We want to take care of our children while we have them. And when it's their turn to take care of us, we want to experience their love and their respect. Around us, we want to see an environment that is kept in good order. We want to know that our neighbors are reliable. We can turn to them in time of trouble and they can turn to us when they have an issue. And cooperatively, we want to take care of the environment and the systems that we put in place for good management. That's it. That's it. But how do you accomplish that? If you are a person who fall in the Proverbs 6, 7 things that the Creator dislikes. If you are one who you lie about what you see and what you do, you steal from those who are looking and those who are not looking. You're a troublemaker. You don't want to see peace. You want to set one man against the other, and then maybe you can benefit some way, or maybe you don't even benefit. But it delights you to see confusion and chaos around you. You don't want to participate in anything that is good and uplifting for the community. You want to criticize it and pick at it and tear it apart. If you are that person, you need to check yourself and discover or uncover the trauma that has set you to be so contrary. Because usually that we're not made with no bad spirit, you know.
That's a point.
We're created in the image of God. So what's in us is meant to be uplifting and fulfilling for life. We were born into families, so we believe in community and togetherness. But if something gets broken, traumatized, hurt in the process, like, you know, with Eve, they said the serpent spoke to her and planted an idea in her mind, which she followed, and then it became painful, and she ended up cursed, and mankind with
Did
her.
God really say?
Yeah. If you
Already that
if
question.
that
Did God really
question
say?
is put on the table to you and you, out of some curiosity, respond to it, there is a path to recovery, to healing, to repentance, and that is open to us, and it is known, and it is your job to find it. This morning, I just feel like it's what I need to be saying to our listeners. Do that self-check. You know, we were talking about the foundations, checking the foundations to see what will happen when stress reach your house that you have built. Do that self-check. Uncover the trauma, the hurt, the broken place in your life, and set to the task of repairing it, because whatever defeats you will defeat your children. And so it will continue from one generation to the next. So you have to unmask that issue in your circumstances and repair it, so your children and their children can have a better experience.
Change your value system?
Just change it. Yeah.
Change your value system?
Yeah.
We have a Bushman song, you know.
What's the Bushman song?
You
learn some new things.
Oh, my Lord. Bushman come with a song. It's interesting. You will hear it at the end, but it is, for me, it became an anthem, because that's what I've been saying to people. The real change begins with you. But if you don't begin to change, begin to look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, is that really where what I want to be? Is that who I really am? If it's so, then accept it, but then do the next thing in terms of bringing about the change that
Can
is
make the
needed.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are none of us. You know that in times of old, philosophers spoke many things to confirm, justify, reinforce whatever system in the society they wanted to perpetuate. And there have been those who said, oh, this one is born a plumber. That one is born to clean the road. That one is born to. Persons have spoken many things because, as you know, words are powerful with their creative energy. And words have been spoken over many that cause us to accept a condition which is temporary.
Yeah.
So we know that many words have been spoken over Africans, over Black people, over descendants of slaves, over the white man, over the whatever. And so we grow up having an idea about how society is structured and where we fit in it. Some of us push against that idea because we don't accept it to be true of ourselves. In fact, I don't believe anyone who is under accepts that this is where he must be. But you need to acquire the proper tools to push against it and to make the changes that you desire. Our job is to sharpen the tools that you have, give you the right tools, and give you some of the knowledge that you need. We can't give you all. I mean, I know when we started this program, I, for one, used to talk about keys because you have to unlock various things that bar you in. So we like to give you the keys. And it is I just feel such a charge when I hand someone a key and they use it well. But there is a lot we have to do for ourselves because it is not It's not a free for all, as you said earlier. Every man have to work out his own salvation, but there are helpers along the way, and those helpers are placed along the way in keeping with and one of the rules that God has set, and it is for man to work together.
Yeah.
So
Kinda goes without saying.
So he doesn't leave you to, just flail your hands in desperation until you drown. But you gotta move your hands.
That's so interesting. No.
So glad when I say something interesting for you.
Because when we never had to listen to a lot of people, the solution not just going drop from heaven for you. God gives you an idea
even if it had
to
drop, you have to catch it.
You
might
drop it,
knock you
catch
out.
it,
Yeah.
and move forward, because you have to turn the inspiration, the revelation that you have into making it work for you. Because remember, when the children of Israel were entering into the land, he says, don't ever forget, I give you the power to get wealth. You're not going to give you the power, which means the ideas, the inspiration in your hands to get wealth. And so, for each person, wherever you are at this point, this moment in your life, what is in your hand? That's something that came to me this week. When Moses was standing up there and the Egyptians were behind him, the Red Sea was ahead of him, and the mountains were to the side. And he's saying, God says, Moses, what is in your hand? What is in your hand? And so even as you mentioned that the question for all of us as individuals, even as we seek to deal with the issues and the challenges that are before us, what is in our hand? What is in our hand is what God is going to use to help us to bring about real change, to shift the situation. But if we believe that we are powerless, if we shift that mindset,
Reject it.
that we are powerless. We are not powerless.
We're not powerless. When you spoke about Moses and the Red Sea moment, and this is where you say you're caught between, what is it now? The devil and you're caught between a rock and a hard place. Right. When you find yourself in that situation and you want to draw from the demonstrated power of God as evidenced in the parting of the Red Sea, remember a critical thing. The rod which Moses had in his hand had already been used to demonstrate great power.
So God was using his past experiences.
Absolutely.
And that's important to know.
You should never feel like, oh, but Moses had a rod. What do I have? Just remember that rod had been used multiple times before to do different things of a supernatural nature. Turn into a snake, eat up the other snakes, strike it on a rock, whatever. That is a rod that had been used. So when you're in that impossible place and you're thinking, how do I get myself out or beyond this place of difficulty? Look for something which has already been used to demonstrate the power of God, the transformative power of God. It may be someone, it may be something, whatever it might be in your circumstances. God does not leave us to inimini. No, it's not his nature to press us into guessing. It's not guesswork where he's concerned.
It's the knowledge of the past of what he has done and what he's capable of doing.
Yeah.
Because even for David, when David faced the giant in his own life and situation,
I see, I got you thinking.
He
slingshot.
The slingshot.
Ah, yes.
And then the other thing,
the lion and the he did
the
demonstrated power. He knew
in the past. So God had showed up in those circumstances. Now, when he was facing his Goliath, he had to use and build on his past experiences because those would guide him in going forward. And remember too, when Saul says, "Okay, you can't go like that. You put on my armor," and say, "No, not
this
used
won't
to that.
work for me."
Not used to that, because we must recognize in our individual situations, and I keep telling people that you're a person of purpose. You have a destiny that you need to fulfill, but God has empowered you with the necessary skills and talents and giftings that will enable you to win
So you've been in training.
Yes. You're gonna win. You are going to win.
All those hateful experiences of your past that you couldn't figure out why you had to go through this, why you had to walk this road. It's always a part of the training for the big moment when you're in that Red Sea situation. The army is behind you coming down with great force, and there is an impassable body of water before you. Reach back into the impossible situations, the hateful, horrid things of your past that you have survived. Because if you hadn't survived those, you wouldn't be in your Red Sea moment. You would have been crushed back in the day with whatever else if you were in prison, if you had committed some atrocious crime and caught and held to account. Whatever it is that did not break you, that left you alive and standing for this new challenge, look back at it and find the tool, the weapon that you use to overcome it. Because that's your weapon for where you are now. It has demonstrated its capability. You've used it and you trust it. You know what it can do. Whatever that thing might be, that is what you need for the challenge that you face now. I know it sounds like a little bit of mysticism right now.
It is not. It is not. It is not.
You have to now relate it to what's happening in your personal life and what's happening in Jamaica. I'm very troubled by what's happening in Jamaica. Troubled is probably oh no, let's take out troubled. I am very conscious of what is happening in Jamaica, but I'm not conscious in a way that I'm proud of Jamaica. I'm not proud of Jamaica right now. I am not. I'm conscious that Jamaica needs to undergo a process of change. But for Jamaica to change, remember now, for a nation to change, the individuals, the people must change at a sufficient mass quantity. Critical mass must be attained so that the nation itself moves forward.
And that is important because that's where I'm going. Because yesterday and the day before, people kept calling, disappointed, when different callers were saying, what we're going to do, we need to move from the chat to some action. And then the last caller says, in terms of things that are happening, he says, we must have what he calls a peaceful demonstration. He was talking about the local government. He says,
because it's accepted now, no elections.
He says, no, we have a date up until May 31st in order to do that. And he says, let's start a petition, a local with people, and use the church as a pivotal point, that the church begin to mobilize. And he called on the church, which is in every community anyway. If we really do believe that this poll is important for us, let's do that. And then he says the PSOJ too, because remember, they had raised concern. Remember that thing in terms of why we're not having it? And they went through all of the different things. He says we can. So it takes us moving forward. And I'm going to look at that idea to see, some feelers. I say, what can we do? Because it is important. And remember now, you have the umbrella group of churches, which is in the JCC, because the JCC came out with a statement Friday gone.
So that's what is happening now.
The JCC came
There
out
is a lively conversation concerning the threat to democracy by the failure to have these local government
and
elections.
also what is happening with the Integrity Commission. And I wanted to that was Archbishop Kenneth Richards issued a statement, read the Integrity Commission. I said, watch it, don't do that. Basically said, let's be balanced, because as somebody rightly said to me at a conversation, it says the same strategy: deny, deflect, then destroy. And that's what it has come down to, because they're seeking to destroy.
The Integrity Commission itself is now at risk.
Yes, it says be careful. So he says, and they're going after Greg Chris. Greg Chris never did anything wrong. I'm so glad that you read it before what was put out by the investigator in terms of the thing. And then the Advocates Network says the Prime Minister has not been exonerated.
No.
Yeah, and so that is what is happening. So let us so let us myself and Michael really explore it. This as No, read the thing. It's conflict interest clear.
But you see, there's always that halfway house between an administrative breach and a criminal offense. Criminal offenses require deliberate, intentional misbehavior. Negligence is not criminal, meaning
we
a
go
lack
to
of
the-
care.
So hold the thought as we come up to our
7:30.
7:30.
How did that happen? All right, gotta slow down the time now. Let's take the break. We'll be right back.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up show. Lassel's Butch Chen on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing work in our maturing years. Compellingly defined, educate, and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Let's get digital this tax season. File and pay your final income tax return for 2022 and estimated return for 2023 due on March 15 with tax support in so many ways. Start connecting with us through our web hub at jamaicatax.gov.jm, Customer Care Center 888 Tax Help or Special Taxpayer Assistance Program. Tutorials available online. All income tax returns, including individual, must be filed online and on time by March 15. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
Do you need reliable health care? We have it. Yes, we do. Great George Street Pharmacy. Shop number 897 Great George Street, Savannah, Lamar, Westmoreland. Opening hours, Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call us at 876-603-7373 or WhatsApp us at 876-205-0499. Yes, we have reliable health care for you at Great George Street Pharmacy, Savannah, Lamar.
Yes, and the world, you want us back? We are back. The Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Best 100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Best 100 FM, 100.1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Come on out. Join me, the prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Best 100 FM, Best 100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to lick it.
Ready for the warfield. Ready for the warfield.
Hello. Pastor Howard Palmer here, coming to you from New York City this and every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's right, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. this and every Saturday morning, right here on Best 100 FM. Don't you miss it.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328. That is 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328.
Having trouble getting parts for your Mazda? Maljam Auto Parts is your solution. Find Maljam at the new and convenient location off Upper Walton Park Road at 9 Kingswood Avenue. Maljam Auto Parts, with over 25 years experience, providing all Mazda parts, new and used. Call 923-4389 and 461-1786. Maljam Auto Parts, serving your Mazda needs.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on the Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Morning Connection. And you know the good news is Minette is back. Minette and the producer is back, and she's come all charged up and ready to go. As we were just reflecting on some of the things that are happening, some of the things that are there bubbling under the ground, getting ready to move and to explode. I've been advocating a revolution using Dennis Brown in terms of to stand up and fight like soldiers, and we're saying this local government thing is not going away. Do you know that in Sri Lanka they postponed the local government and the people then protest?
Listen, any country that has a sufficient knowledge of itself and have any kind of ambition will not likely take their leaders delaying for interminable periods of time and a democratic process that is crucial to the well-being of the nation. There's no country that will just take it lying down. I mean, if that were so, then we're not a democracy.
Yeah, but it's interesting that the Sri Lankans, and they are even in more dire straits than we are, because they had gone to remember they had the whole lot of rats and the gas thing, and they said, no, we need to have it, and they were saying they don't have no money. But I found this so interesting yesterday, and I read it as we closed the program off in terms of Transparency International. And the director was saying he made a statement, and I read it online, in terms of corruption index, and the gentleman who sounds like he's from one of the Nordic countries, and he was saying that they have noticed that since the onset of COVID and what happened, that it was used really to take away a lot of rights from people.
Yes.
And he says we have to
no, they don't want to give it back.
Yeah. And he said, no. Because the democratic process, he was saying, is so very, very, very important. So even this local government, I believe, as a caller said yesterday, well, church has commented on through the JCC. I don't know about the other bodies, because the group of churches is made up of JCC, Evangelical Alliance, and a whole lot of different church groupings. But JCC, with the Jamaica Council of Churches, through their present sitting chairman, which is the Archbishop Kenneth Richards, as I was pointing to you before the break, I've said that this thing with the Integrity Commission, they need to be very careful, and they issued a statement, I believe last week, Friday. But let us move forward in terms of what is the stance of the group of churches on this postponement of local government. What are we going to do? Do we become the point?
Well, I'm thinking through it even as I am supporting it. I mean, as a matter of instinct, I know we must rise up and do something.
Yes.
But the thing that we have to be very careful with is when we set the house on fire, do we have the resources in place to deal with the aftermath? We can push and fight for the return to scheduled elections. But we must at the same time address the ever-present risk that those elections will be manipulated, votes bought and sold, or whatever it is might be, and ensure that the result of those elections is not perjured, contaminated, and we end up in a worse situation. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is why when we speak about addressing an issue, we approach it with a sober mind, because that sober mind prevents us from going overboard in one direction or another and bringing greater damage to the body that we are trying to save. You know, like when you do chemotherapy for cancer and the chemotherapy kill the patient.
There it goes. Destroy what you were trying
that you
to do.
destroy the thing you're trying to save. So I'm saying that only to push those who are in that space where you are planning to make sure the thing gets done properly, to be diligent about their work, because the energy that goes behind the protests and the demonstration and so on cannot be controlled and redirected into fixing the problem. That's like the tip of the spear. Once the tip of the spear has entered, its time has passed. It's moving to exit.
Right.
And it's what's behind it that needs to do the conscious work of ensuring that if we push this government into calling local government elections, we need to have a body of persons ready and willing to safeguard the process so that a just result emerges. And then we have to keep that energy going to hold those who come out as leaders accountable as they do the work of bringing about the change.
Even so, it did, because one of the other organization that blasted the postponement was Cafe, which had come out, Citizens for a
Fair and free election.
So, and people need to join up, because it's so important, because it's about justice, whether we like it
Whether
or
we
not.
like it or not,
The
everything
thing
is
it just
begins
comes
and
back.
ends with the administration of justice.
In our
Oh, you're doing things. Let me tell you, a headline I saw it yesterday. I picked it up on Twitter as I was coming in, because, we were traveling from far, and it was, the news was just getting everything organized in the right time frame was a bit challenging. But I did pick up this continuing narrative that Jamaica, there's a labor shortage. The only labor shortage there is slave labor. We are now describing the fact that persons are not lining up to take poorly paid jobs under harsh working conditions. My words. We are equating that to a labor shortage.
It's really not.
It's not a labor shortage. The census statin is complaining that people are walking off the job, but the lady quite rightly says that they're getting better offers.
Right. So she should put it in the right context.
Yes.
Pay the people them.
And there is a pushback by MPs who are saying, oh, but we have people in our constituency who are qualified and ready to work, and so on and so forth. Forgetting, not recognizing that, yes, I am ready to work, but I'm not ready to work as a slave. It's the same problem which the society confronted in the post-colonial immediate aftermath of slavery days.
Excellent thought. And you ask yourself why is a lot of people preferring to hustle
and scam and do risky things.
But I'm not even thinking about the one in scammers, because the story was this little boy from Michael's school. Michael has a school. So he brings him in and he says to him, hello, you caught stealing? I said, no, I wasn't stealing. I was a scammer. It's 9-year-old,
You think that's a profession?
Yeah, it says I'm a scammer.
With a place in the economy.
You understand? And and that is even more widespread, because even while you were away, there was a cry out of West. We can't get people to do athletics, football, cricket, because the young people are gone into other things. They don't think it's worth their while. And where you'd say to them, this is an outlet that you can live up yourself. They say, no. Scamming will do it. So we have a serious problem.
Yeah, and the reason I put it that way is because a society, an economy that drew its first breath on slave labor, or if not outright slave, near slave labor, where you deliberately undervalue and persistently keep at a low value the labor, the output of the mass of your people. You pay them low, you give them few or no benefits, you don't train them well, you keep education at a level where they can't get past a certain standard for their families, for themselves. You begin to believe that is how it ought to be. You overprice capital. So now, if a man borrows money, even in our own national arrangements, what percentage of our GDP goes to debt service?
79.
Look at that. So just imagine that you're running a household on the basis that 79% of what you earn goes to the man who owns capital. You must raise your family, give them sense of value and place in the world, keep them motivated, entertained, well fed, educated, and the remaining, what is that, 21%? How is that possible?
Yeah, what I
That's
just
not
quoted was
possible.
the debt to GDP ratio. That is what is in the new budget now. That's what
Yeah.
it has come now. Remember,
Yeah.
it was up to 120.
It was even well, in those days. I mean, even when it's coming down, so you're schooled in an environment where it seems to be acceptable that the owners of capital gets the first and the biggest cut.
So that's what our covenant says. Don't forget that.
So when you come now to the point where people are getting a little more enlightened and they're seeing all around them the evidence of wealth and how people can live and do things. And when they turn up for a job that you have to take bus to get there, buy lunch to keep yourself while you're there, maintain a certain standard of living, you paying them pittance? Oh, come on.
Which is the challenge.
That's not a labor shortage.
Which is the challenge that is really out there.
That's the wages of sin is death.
No, but it's but it is a reality because some people says that don't make no sense. It is good to get up and to go to work because work is about your worship. But when there's no real incentive, because when you listen to this now, this is the
your worship and your work is the same when you're doing it for God.
Yeah,
but when you're doing it for mammon, it's not the same. And that's why they will reject it and go and try hustling and scamming and any type of activity that can give them a better life. And some of them, when they reach a certain point, they abandon it and try to be civilized.
to be civilized, that's what you call it.
Yes, because we have many titans of business who, if you look deep enough into their past, they were hustling and scamming too.
Okay.
And when they reach to a certain level, then they gentrified, sanitize it. But now, and one of the things that this nation is upset about, is they are looking and they're saying, you did it and got your big house. When it's my time to do it now, you're shooting me down. You're shutting me down.
So there's the justice.
Even in that field, people are crying out for justice. You did it in your way, got what you have, and now that I am addressing the same issue, you want to impose law and order on me.
You that's a real thinking by a lot of people out there.
But it's not illogical, Percy. It's perfectly logical.
I never said it was illogical. I'm just saying you have
it's real.
Yeah, it's a real concern of person. So don't tell me what it is.
Honestly, I look on, I see how the SSL thing is playing out, and I say to myself, but why on earth didn't I get some of the opportunities they got? I at least had a clean business.
Oh.
So it is instinctive that when you see certain things being played out and you look at your own situation, you're saying, but hold on a minute. That man got a chance to whatever, and he squandered it. I never even got the chance, and I can assure you I would not have squandered it. The injustice.
I read this last week.
Yeah, share it with me.
So the professor enters the lecture hall. He looks around. You there in the atrium, talking to you a minute. Can you tell me your name? He asks, my name is Binet. Says a voice. The prof asks, please leave my lecture hall. I don't want you to see you in my lecture. Everyone is quiet. The student is irritated. You would naturally be slowly packs her things and stands up. Faster, please, she asks. She doesn't dare to say anything and leaves the lecture hall. That wouldn't be you.
I don't know why you put me in that, but carry on. I'm enjoying it.
The professor keeps looking around. The participants are scared. Why are there laws, he asks the group, all quiet. Everyone looks at the other. What are laws for, he asks again. Social order is heard from a row. A student says to protect a person's personal rights. Another says so that you can rely on the state. The professor is not satisfied. Justice calls out a student. The professor is smiling. She has his attention. Thank you very much. Did I behave unfairly towards your classmate earlier? Everyone nods. Indeed, I did. Why didn't anyone protest? Why didn't any of you try to stop me? Why didn't you want to prevent this injustice? He asks. Nobody answers. What you just learned, you wouldn't have understood in 1,000 hours of lectures if you hadn't lived it. You didn't say anything just because you weren't affected yourself. This attitude speaks against you and against life. You think as long as it doesn't concern you, it is none of your business. I'm telling you, if you don't say anything today and don't bring about justice, then one day you will experience injustice and no one will stand before you. Justice lives through us all. We have to fight for it. In life, at work, we often live next to each other instead of with each other. That's crucial enough. We console ourselves that the problems of others are none of our business. We go home and are glad that we were spared. But it is also about standing up for others. Every day, an injustice happens in business, in sport, on the train, on the bus. Relying on someone to sort it out is not enough. It is our duty to be there for others, speaking for others when they cannot. This is why we get involved. Even though a lot of time it doesn't concern me directly, eventually it just may. Change begins with you and me. What think you, my friend?
Well, it is a narrative of what we've been saying, what I've been saying all morning. And what we've been saying for a longer time still, because as you read it, I remember the young man who killed the family, the woman and her children in bed, and I kept saying it's kind of a flash of revelation. I saw that persons were aware of his
instability,
yes,
mental instability,
and that people have it's not my business approach to these things until it becomes your business,
and
you
all
don't
of us
want
wringing
that.
our hands and saying if we didn't know.
And we see it all the time. The person who look like they're about to fall, and you look, you could have asked a question, done something until then drop. And then it becomes a bigger issue. So yeah, those are principles that I believe in and that I live by. Yeah.
Every day.
We're coming through an airport, one of the airports that in my travel heading home, and they had like 6 different lines to different, the equipment that scans your luggage. So the scanners. And each line came out at a different point, and then from there you head to immigration. So, the line at the top is a distance from the entrance to the immigration. Right. So if you come out at the top, you have to walk down and go to the back of the line. And so it was. Instead of your coming out and just joining the line at whichever point you exit the scanner. All right. Of course, hundreds of people going through, flights are lining up and you are on your way. I came out somewhere in the middle. So I just positioned to just join the line. Someone says to me, you're to go to the back of the line. I said, why? Oh, because that's what they're saying. They're telling people. So I said, you mean you come out at the top of the line there and you must walk down to the back of the line and be out of there? Why wouldn't it just make sense to me that wherever you come out from the scanner, you join the line and the line keeps moving? I'm discovering that it was an issue. Anyway, I joined the line where I came out. And then I began, I'm thinking about it, because when you move against the prevailing tide, you have to ask yourself, am I a criminal or a freedom fighter? Have I broken a rule and committed an offense? Or am I standing up for something that is intrinsically right and sound? So I was just thinking on it as going through the line, because I didn't shift my position. The other 2 persons who were in our group ended up going to the back of the line. But because it was becoming a thing. But I just stayed my course and I continued through. But it was on my mind. And here are some of the things that I thought about. I said, why Everybody agrees that it is an unreasonable rule. Why were persons supporting it? That's the first thing that crossed my mind. You're in agreement that it makes no sense. Yet, others who had conformed to the rule, when they saw me break it, were supporting the rule. Like, well, but that's what everybody else had to do. And da, 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 da. Well, you know me. I'm deaf in the ear that is not hearing what I want to hear. So I press on. But I was curious about that fact. The second thing is, why is there a rule such as that in the first place? Was it a rule? Was it somebody's imagination? How did it come about that something which is in defiance of what should happen naturally was set up as a rule? Because, and this, though I'm spending some time, this situation in the airport is just a simulation of what happens in real life. I want you to see it as that. You're moving along through no deliberate action of your own. You're in a particular lane. Why should someone then take that event and create a rule around it that puts you at a disadvantage? Why? It's a rhetorical why. So
no, that's
because that's what we do in the imagination of man. That's what we do. We, for no reason that makes any sense, take one factor that impresses us in one way or another. Sometimes, and that's why I say visit your trauma of the past. Sometimes it's because, one time me did do this and me did have to do that. And so from henceforth, this is my law. We make rules from a place of injury, malice, and hurt. And any rule you make from such a place can only perpetuate injury, malice, and hurt. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Understand the source. So I tell you, it just goes.
And we have to watch that too with our parliament. We have to watch that with our gatekeepers.
But that's important, and even to bring it closer to couples, one of the things we explore is families of origin, in terms of how people deal with conflict and those kind of things. And to say to them, why you behave like that? And they say, explore it, because you don't want to carry that. Because it's not a good thing. Like you said, the source, injury begets injury.
Yes.
Hurt people hurt people.
Yes, yeah.
So you have to examine the thing. But that's interesting. So you go into the people and place.
I went on the continent and made trouble.
I don't make trouble.
But can I tell you, because I had done that, I was able to see the board, because where we were in that area, no announcements could be heard or whatever. And while I was close to the front, I saw a board in the back saying our flight was now boarding.
Wow. That's a good thing.
So I was able to say to the other two, listen, man, and I saw another lady say, my flight too. And we broke up the whole line and rushed through, and we ran to make our flight because we were coming home.
And then who knows?
Producer is reminding me. Then no, let me tell you, it was something else. There was a guy sitting in front of me. This is the one with the chair. Yeah, the chairs recline. But
no. The immigration guy.
Oh, that was all right. Not the reclining chair, man. The immigration guy. After we ran to the front of the line now and said our flight is boarding, there are like 4 or 5 of us are there. Here the man asked, why are you late?
Immigration guy.
Immigration guy.
I just tell him, well, boss is not doing us.
Why are you late? So I said, well, there was traffic. They said, no, you're supposed to be here 4 hours before. You know what? I immediately, because I know when a spirit is trying to make trouble. I just stepped to the back, and he takes the passport now, and I think he had mine, and then he picked Lowell on and said, stand in front of me. I just went behind my husband for coverage, and he dealt with Lowell's own first. The man was like picking a fight, and if you, like he was saying, if you keep this up, I won't deal with anyone. Something like that. Like I'd send you. I said, this man lick him head. Anyway, I stepped back because I know the energy, and who knows, maybe he had seen me challenge them with their foolishness. For all you know, he had witnessed it and see that he had a rebel on his hands. Anyway,
but
you meet all types.
Yeah, and some other times you have to know how to deal with it.
Yep.
The spirit.
And when you have company, you can always step back and let someone else carry the yes,
But the
and it
FSL
works
thing is
beautifully.
not going away. I tell them,
Yes,
I've been
I
having, I say not
straight up
going
is
away.
sending me a note here. He says, the sure sign that democracy has left is the brazen and barefaced manner in which they have covered up the SSL matter.
It's not going away.
All right, we're taking a break. It's 8:00. So you can tell me what's happened
It's not going away.
when we come back.
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Hello, I'm Neil Nunes with the BBC News. There have been angry exchanges between the United States and Russia at the G20 foreign ministers meeting in Delhi over Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the talks have been marred by the unprovoked and unjustified attack. Russian officials, meanwhile, said Moscow and Beijing had agreed to oppose what they called Western blackmail and threats. Our correspondent in Delhi, Barbara Platasha, was listening to the speech from Mr. Blinken.
His lines have been quite clear in terms of presenting Russia as the problem and trying to rally U.S. allies and Western countries and others to also condemn the Russian invasion. And that is really what you've seen at this G20 meeting, a hardening of those divisions. We saw it in Bali as well last year, but now here you have the U.S. and its allies on one side and Russia and China on the other, who are becoming increasingly divided over what's going on in Ukraine.
Greece has appointed a new transport minister following the train crash that killed 42 people. Georgios Garapetoutis said he had a mandate to modernize the country's railway and restore its safety. His predecessor resigned immediately after the disaster. A station manager is due in court accused of negligent manslaughter. Here's our Europe correspondent Nick Beeg.
As well as the obvious deep sense of mourning that Greece has now been plunged into, there is this anger which appears to be growing. A lot of people saying that there were so many warnings about a potential catastrophe on the Greek railway network, which simply weren't heeded over many, many years, and that successive governments have failed to address some of these big issues.
A tanker that sunk in the Philippines on Tuesday has started to leak its cargo of oil. It's threatening marine reserves, as our Asia-Pacific editor Michael Bristow explains.
The Princess Empress went down in rough seas near the island of Mindoro after its engines overheated and failed. Search teams are trying to locate the sunken vessel so they can siphon off the oil. The ship is thought to be nearly half a kilometre down. The Philippine Coast Guard initially said that fuel spotted on the surface of the sea was diesel used to power the ship, not its cargo. But that now appears to be seeping out too, in an area that's being promoted to tourists for its natural beauty.
Iran's health minister Bahram Enilahi says the government has formed a special committee to investigate the repeated poisoning of schoolgirls in recent months. It'll be made of toxicologists and university professors. Mr. Enilahi said he wanted to find out how the poison was produced and if it was deliberate. Some politicians have suggested that religious groups opposed to girls' education may be to blame. BBC News. The medical charity Médecins Sans Frontières says a hospital in Somaliland has been hit for the fourth time in 3 weeks as a result of the fighting between the military and clan militias. Somaliland broke away from Somalia in 1991, but has not been internationally recognized. The president of Mauritania has said countries in the Sahel region need a more coordinated approach in the fight against violent extremist groups. In a BBC interview, Mohamed Ould Ghazouani said there also needed to be a pooling of resources to take on the jihadist groups, which he described as extremely determined and aggressive. Antiquities officials in Egypt say they have discovered a hidden corridor behind the main entrance of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The find was made by using cosmic ray muon radiography, a non-destructive technique, Libby Capella reports.
Since 2015, the Scan Pyramids project has been using modern technology
to appear inside the Great Pyramid, also known as Cheops Pyramid, built 4,500 years ago during the reign of the pharaoh Khufu. The project's latest find is a 9-meter-long unfinished corridor, which was likely built to relieve the weight of the pyramid on either the main entrance 7 meters below or on another as yet undiscovered chamber. Egyptologist Zahi Hawass said the corridor can tell us for the first time whether the burial chamber of Khufu still existed.
Vietnam's parliament has approved the ruling Communist Party's choice to become the country's new president. Vo Van Thuong won the backing of all but one of the assembly's 500 members. The president is one of 4 top jobs in Vietnam, positions that are usually divided among different leaders to create a balance of power. That's the latest BBC World News.
No son healthy. Get healthy, my friends. Stay balanced. Tune into this station, Best FM 100, every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock to 9, for this wonderful program, Your Health Today, with me, Dr. Clarion Palmer. Yes, get healthy, get healthy, get healthy. Stay balanced. Best FM 100, Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, with me, Dr. P. Get healthy.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328. That is 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328.
Here we are standing in your presence.
Glory Connect! Glory Connect! Join us on Best FM with Apostle Prophetess Denise Wellington and Pastor Alicia Gonzalez Morgan every Saturday at 4 p.m. on Best FM Radio. Come out and discover your purpose. Take up that phone and dial now. Call and experience something new. Experience something great. Experience your own expression of encountering the supernatural glory of God's abundant life and transformation being fulfilled. What are you waiting for? Are you depressed, oppressed, worn out, tired, or stressed? Have you discovered your true purposes yet? This is the moment. What are you waiting for? Connect now to Glory Connection. Call and experience the Word of God, intercession, healing, and deliverance. Experience something great. Receive salvation and breakthrough. Connect. Tell a friend, family, and your neighbor. See you then.
Goodness mercy, it's me again, Lord, your restorer, your game changer. Join me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best FM 100. It's Apostle Clive Campbell, a.k.a. the Khaki Suit Man, coming to you from 8 to 12 Orange Street, also Richmond District, Mandeville. Embrace the change.
Beneficiaries. The PATH payment cycle begins on February 20, 2023. Post offices and payment agencies will deliver payments based on last names up to March 7, 2023. Check the weekend star to find out when and where you should collect. If you miss your date, you must collect between March 8 and March 10, 2023. For more information, call PATH at 876-922-8007 or visit the ministry's website page at www.mlss.gov.jm. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
For discussions on health and education, inspiring interviews, surprise giveaways, your favorite songs, tune into Best 100 FM this and every Sunday at 11:30 to 12 noon. It's Distinction 411, your weekly college magazine program hosted by James and the Distinction family. Catch you on Sunday.
Hey everybody, Dr. Julia D. Fagan here. I just want to invite you to join me on Friend of a Wounded Heart right here on Best FM every Saturday, 1 p.m. until 2 p.m. Guess what? I'm looking forward to coming into your homes, at your workplaces, behind prison bars, at infirmaries, wherever you are. Shalom.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
We are something special on the road.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better. But nothing beats. Best FM.
Good morning and welcome back. I actually moved the microphone. Just remember now that the numbers to call us are 876-619-1508 and 876-279-8473. We're opening the line so we can have some interaction this morning. I know you've been accustomed to Pastor Percival sharing and pointing the way. This morning he has company again. Although you had company most of the week. Michael was with you most of the week.
No, just
when I logged
yesterday.
on.
Last week he was with me, a couple of the two
days.
times on the phone and
Yeah.
2 times in studio.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
You know, I love
somebody-
Michael.
so, I was to Michael some of the time. Michael, you tell like, 'cause some of the stories that Michael
I know are pretty unbelievable.
Michael, no, some of them, but I know of a truth.
Yes.
Him
Yeah.
talking the truth. So
Yeah.
he one of the things he did was to open up this whole thing with contracts and how corrupt the process is in terms of revealing, as an
Yeah.
activist. Yeah. Good morning, caller. How are you today? Welcome.
How are you, man? You all right, man?
Hey, George. Good morning.
Hey, where you been, man? This minute, where you been?
On the continent.
On the continent of Africa, yeah?
Yes, I went to visit the mother and the father.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. Communicate with nature, yeah?
Yeah, well, somebody has got to keep the fire burning.
Yeah. Because I was listening. Civil rights leader, and he was saying some things, and he was saying that the revolution start with 3 persons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said one is going to carry on the revolution. One will go to prison, and one will die.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand?
I do.
Yeah, so I was just looking and said, okay, like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Mandela, who was second or third in charge,
Mm-hmm.
and they say it still live on until today. People still talk about and still try to keep the fire burning.
Well, that's when I was speaking to Percival. You heard me say that while we need to change and we have to mobilize for it, the mob, the anger, the drive that causes you to overturn the bucket, that's not what's going to help you to restore balance and to build and so on. So you're so right about the different personalities to make the revolution meaningful. You have one who's going to have to stand trial and go to jail. You have one who's going to get executed because there must be blood to bring to completion certain things, and you have one who's going to push for change. And maybe it's not even 3 persons when there's a real stubborn devil that you're trying to tear down. You might need 10.
Yes. Yes.
Each one
One
with a
live to tell the
function.
tale.
One live to
I
tell the
remember
tale. Yes.
Cuba was overthrown by Fidel Castro because it's Che Guevara, yeah, from
Yes.
Argentina.
Yes.
And he was a man that kind of really pushing it, yeah. And they decide to have 3 boats leave from Mexico and go straight into Havana in Cuba and overtake the country. So after that happened, yes, Che is a Marcus. So if you call him and say, say, them people are giving me some trouble, more and take over the country, and he just get up and move.
Mm-hmm.
Sorrowfully that he was killed in Bolivia because he followed some revolutionists to take over Bolivia, and he was captured and executed there. And after he was killed there and executed, Fidel Castro asked the president of Bolivia, "Can you give me his remains?"
Yes.
And they said, "No. I mean, this man is a terrorist. This man trying to overthrow my country. And, I'm not going to give you anything." I'm still asking, I'm asking for him because, he's a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Because Fidel Castro did say to Che that, "Listen, man, why you going to leave? If you can't just stay right at Cuba here and say, no, my spirit is foreign, I have to free up people. Yeah? Mm-hmm. I have to go to different places. The people ask for help. Just like you ask for help and I help, you have to go."
Yeah.
You understand? And in the long run,
mm-hmm.
he persistent asking, and the Bolivia government decided to give him the remains of Che.
Mm-hmm.
And he was buried in Havana, in the town.
What significance do you think there is to the necessity to claim the remains and to bring honor to the fallen who are important to you? Do you find that it's of any spiritual significance? Because I listen to you and I feel like you're giving a message here.
Yeah, the message is that you have things in your mind. You write things and then you see that your country is coming under some pressure and you need to get a group together and talk and try to meet with the people in charge. Right? And they still disrespecting and going in different directions. Now, most time you find out the people revolt to all different type of things, and they will just find one man and say, "We don't want you anymore. This is the man that we want to put in power because this man will treat us better." You understand me?
Yeah.
So if you are the thing kind of, you think and you people see you want to see that you're fit because of your movement. You understand? You're able to talk with the people, eat with the people, and have that revolution spirit within yourself to say, "Listen, me, when time for this president to vote, he has to vote because the people are suffering and the people them need a new leader. Where there is no vision, the people perish. There must be somebody who have a vision. This country or any other country and bring it to we."
Well,
because remember, you're saying something?
Yeah, because I'm listening to you and I feel like you are of the mindset now that it is time for drastic change in Jamaica, and that as others rose to the call for freedom at different times and could find friends in all, even foreign places, Jamaica shouldn't give up hope. We should be looking to our neighbors and our friends to support the call for freedom, because freedom, for one, is a call for freedom everywhere.
That's true.
So I tell you, let's just each do our part.
Exactly.
Let's just each do our part. I want to do my part. I know that part of my thing is to mobilize by the voice and the message and the push to strengthen people in their own mentality, their own consciousness, to acknowledge that they have a part to play.
Do you know that in I don't remember what country it was, but the opposition was in the African continent, and the opposition were pushing, and people were like, "Yes, we want him in power." Do you know that the president went and locked up the opposition.
Yes.
They do that all the time.
Oh yes,
They do
and
that all the
and
time. I'm gonna
yeah,
thought
no, we've
that.
been talking about it too. Executed, the man was executed and tortured and executed, but it then led to, and it was the same thing. A press for elections to be called,
And it became a major movement. So the
Yeah.
man died, and you can't stop the thing. But
Can't
George,
stop. In fact, when people die in the pursuit of change and for justice and democracy and peace, inclusion of other people, that's when the rest of us should be mobilized to push for it, because you can't let them die in vain.
Exactly, because as I go back to Che, there was I got a T-shirt with this picture, and like why you wearing that? That man is a terrorist. You call this man a terrorist?
Well,
And
I
I
may
know
tell
that
you, George, your
his T-shirt, his T-shirt sell billions. Even the young people them
yeah,
wearing
but you
it.
see, it is the lack of knowledge. That's why we have to be educated about the reality of things. If not, somebody will come and tell you anything and you believe it. Because to us, Che Guevara is a hero.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, my brother. I think we have another caller on the line, and I love
Okay.
I love your revolutionary talk this morning.
Yeah, man.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Connection. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. All right. We
lost the person.
We lost the person. So there's talk of revolution. Even you, Pastor, calling the word revolution.
No, man, they have Dennis Brown line up. Do you know what it is to have a
Revolution. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
How are you, my brother?
Winnie, you laid the return, Winnie.
Yeah, I know
Good
you.
morning, Mrs. Lawrence.
Good morning, Brother Wayne.
Pastor, I tell you something now go on good.
No, sir. You tell me, say you're ready. You tell me you're standing on the front line.
You not tell us something about of the whole players.
No, he seems rather proud of what you've been doing. You say you've made a complete rebel out of Pastor. Pastor talking about mobilization.
Anyway,
yes.
You know what, Pastor, after me done talk yesterday and the day and I search my soul and my soul I search my soul and it's like a fire burn upon me in a pastor. It's like you have to call back to make an apology to all people who for them seek righteousness, know to them try live up to the standard of righteousness because myself, we and the spirit I say, me not say we, because like when I say we, it's like me I put myself in a feed them foot and feed them shoes. You know, because for me I say righteousness, me try to do what is right, Pastor. Me not go, you know, I feel like me shouldn't say we. Yeah.
But you know, part of it though, Wayne, when you say we, you're speaking prophetically because you pull others with you. We is a very inclusive term to cover those who are here now and those who are yet to come because of the energy that you produce and that you bring to the table. So don't shy away from saying we. We is important. It's important to be inclusive in your language because no one person can do it.
All right. Pastor tell me say no.
Yeah.
You say this year, the 1660,
yes,
I forgot step up here.
Yes.
And as me tell Pastor, we have to put resources behind with knowledge and we talk.
Absolutely.
And we don't give him a pledge, say I will pledge an X amount.
He told me.
And me, we have more than that in my mind, but me say start with that.
Start
you know,
with
me
that,
love
yes.
start small and grow.
And grow.
Say, yeah. You know, but I will say, action, mama, action. Love you, and me say, you know me love you, though.
I know you do. And you know the love is mutual, so we don't even have to quibble about it. It's done.
Yeah, man, bless up.
Cool. So the rubber is hitting the road, Pastor.
Yes, it is. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Number two, and especially to return of minute and Loyal.
Thank you.
Welcome back. And are you back to start the resolution?
Well, it looks like we have to catch up. I'm happy to catch up. Look like it done start already. You know, I mean, scripture tell us not to despise the day of small beginnings. Yeah. Every important thing starts small.
We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need to strike out their heart before it gets in front of our eyes. And certain people decide to do what they want, what suits them, and to hell with us. I don't think that.
Yeah, the call is a bit garbled. Jigsaw, we're not hearing you very clearly. I'm not sure what accounts for it.
Somebody don't want to talk this morning because I lost your connection.
Ah.
Okay.
Anyway, soldier on. We're going to make the best of it.
Okay. You know, we need to demand our local government election. Our children, on it. Yeah, I think I need to get the speaker. So.
Oh, yes.
That's better?
Much better.
Okay. All right, so I don't know why the opposition not garnering some support and some mobilizing some action.
I said before that the issue with elections is that it's all about winning the election. If one side not confident that they're gonna win, there's no urgency in the call. And we're at a place where the government and the opposition seem to have the same lack of confidence in the outcome.
Yeah,
because if the opposition were convinced of its readiness, they are the ones who should be pushing because they carry that responsibility. The parliamentary opposition carries that responsibility to be the front line in the defense. But for me to see the people themselves recognize that the failure to call election is a threat against our own involvement and participation in the process, it is a real threat to our independence, to our democracy, then it is the people who are going to have to rise.
And that is what's going to begin.
But what I'm saying about the opposition, they're missing a trigger, an opportunity for mobilizing action.
Yeah, but I'm explaining to you why I think that is so.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's not just about having the election that I'm talking about. It's giving the opposition an opportunity to mobilize so that they can get in front of the people and see where the support is and see what they need to do to up it.
Can you build a vision of a new opposition? Because if you find that the one who's holding the spot is not doing what it should, the people need to give birth to a new opposition.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's birthing time. Because imagine that you have someone appointed to the task and you, the people, can see the necessity for that one to move and he's not moving.
Yeah, because walking out of parliament is just the start of what action should take. Yes.
I mean, that is symbolic only. That achieves nothing because, strictly speaking, when you walk out of parliament, man, go and vote and take a decision behind your back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because you walked out. So, hey, that's like abstaining from the vote.
Yeah, that's
it suits their purpose.
Yeah.
And it is driving the energy that is amongst them.
But you see,
and
now listen, man, I think it is a good thing for people to realize that we must produce our own results. By our participation, our advocacy, our movement, we produce our own results. It's a beautiful place to be in. We now need to seize the opportunity. May I say we,
right,
like Wayne.
Let's get up and move, folks.
All right, sir. I'm going to Percival is going to brief me. Every mickle makes a muckle. We're going to be muckle making.
All right, then, Jigsaw. We're up on to our 8:30.
All right, we'll take our break and come back. So, Percival.
Half a tree, 100. Bossy, how you do I take taxi start?
Chano, I want to tell you, say, 2 months now, my transmission mash up, and I check everybody and can't hear nothing positive.
You hear me? You waste all that time I shop around and never call the experts. Winters Auto have them. Them have over 35 years of experience and them diagnose your problem and get back your transmission brand new with them service excellent and efficient. Trust me, man. You hear me? Call them at 929-7040 or go to them at 106 Maxfield Avenue, Kingston 13 and talk directly to the boss. Just tell them I'm me send you.
You big star. Yeah, man. Respect my boss.
Try and call him because trust me.
What a relief.
For a better choice in all your electrical supplies, A, authorized 3M dealer and better brand names. B, better service including free island-wide delivery. C, all major credit and debit cards accepted. It's ABC Electrical Sales. Shop number 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10. Open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We make your electrical jobs as easy as ABC. Call 754-382-528 or fax 754-3659. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice.
Veteran Printers for all your printing needs. We specialize in calendars, flyers, brochures, and more. Call us today at 968-7506. That's 968-7506. Or visit us at 4 East Bloomsbury Road, off Hagley Park Road. Veteran Printers, your best choice in printing.
Greetings, brothers and sisters. I invite you to join us for the Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ radio program with Elder Kendrick Murray, where we stand firm that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. This broadcast is heard every Saturday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. and again on Sundays from 4 to 5 p.m. The church is located at 3550 Pleasant Valley Road here in Mobile, Alabama, in the United States. You may visit our website at sonofgodlives.org or our YouTube page at Minister K. Murray. Or you may call us at area code 251-300-8812. God bless you, and we look forward to you tuning in to the program.
Looking to clean your vehicle super clean? 123 Clean Car Wash, located at 2 1/4 Osborne Road, Kingston 10. Entrance on Grove Road, below Tropical Battery. They wash and vacuum, undercarriage wash, engine wash, polish and compound, shampoo and detailing. Call them at 876-631-3400. 123 Clean Car Wash, the best in the business for a cleaner wash.
Believe me, it's so easy. 1, 2, 3.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
You can call us on 926-3866.
We are something special on the road.
Half a tree, ready, 200, ready, mama, ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
What should a taxi service do for you? On-time taxi service is more than just a ride to the other side of town. They offer clean and spacious vehicles, reliable service, and promise to always look out for their customers. They'll come when you call and take you where you want to go on time.
We are something special on the road.
The Morning Connection is not your usual talk show. We aim to stimulate discussion and chart new paths to self-empowerment. So please join us, Minette and Percy, on The Morning Connection, Mondays to Thursdays, 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Best 100 FM.
It's good. It's better, but nothing beats.
Morning, welcome back to the Morning Connection.
Hi.
Good morning.
Rose, how are you?
Yeah. No, not too, no.
Oh.
Man in the wilderness.
Man in the wilderness.
That's right.
How you doing, my friend? Welcome. What's up?
Yeah, man, I'm doing great, man. A long time not deal with the item.
Yeah, me
Oh,
notice.
it's good to hear your voice.
Yes, ma'am. And but you know what you know something where trouble me all the while how me hear the people when they talk about the opposition weak and the opposition that this and the opposition that when we the people are the opposition
Okay.
and we upward to the things where this man have them people are going with and we are take it and talk about opposition weak. And we most labor right attack, you know.
Well, I agree with you that it is really the people's business. It's the people that support the government, and it's the people that should oppose what's happening when it is going in the wrong direction. I agree with you.
Yeah, because we see the things are coming up. We see like when we set up coming up. And we say, see there, rain that, and if the rain, a terrible rain, we flood out the place. And the people them come like them not see. But again, I say, boy, I look like them blind with the mind, blind with mind. To mind blind with can't with the eye.
Well, yeah, that diagnosis you've made is accurate. Because when we are so accustomed to seeing things in a certain way, when the picture changes, it's like our mind can't deal with the new picture. We're only seeing it through that kind of narrow. Yeah, and there's a process to bring truth and to bring the reality into sharp focus.
That's not about me. That's why I see. That's why I say me like you know. But then sometimes me I say, boy, love, I love you, hate you, but I want to be.
Wilderness man. What's that about for the national media?
Gone lyrical on me. No, but you see, sometimes, the truth. Jesus said that thing he said this is a hard saying. It's hard sometimes to hear the truth of a thing because it pushes you now to do something.
Yeah. And I tell you, even right now, it's right now.
Yes.
To me see it go on, it's like me have to go check the line on my own and start defend myself and clear it. Tap out the bush and run around and then now them all say, them all come back, police will come back and lock me up.
No, you see, and that's why let's talk through the process, because there is the first stirring you're gonna feel is that kind of anger, and it's a push to do something physical to free yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the first thing you're gonna feel. Yeah. But we talk about having the sober mind. A person who is acting in a sober way begins to calculate and assess, what can I do that will also preserve my safety, my well-being, so I don't get consumed by the anger or the rage I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So you have to channel that energy now into very calmly and coldly calculating, what can I do? And the first thing that's going to come to you is If I do it by myself, I am at risk. But if I bring others with me, we cover each other. That's why mobilizing is so important, even though it takes time.
Yes, ma'am. That's not about long time. So
yeah, we have to
mobilize ourselves. We have to centralize and organize. That's I think what we have to do.
Yeah, but guess what happened now? You, my brother, have to develop the communication path with your neighbor to show him that the thing that's keeping him down, the reason he's not progressing, the reason his children can't get beyond a certain point, it is not what he's looking at, which might be, well, I don't have land and my neighbor have plenty. You have to look beyond it to identify what are the things we need to change. The truth of the matter is we live in a country that is very well resourced in some basic ways. We have enough land, we have enough water, we have good soil. We should be able to share that evenly amongst ourselves and survive.
That not about.
So it comes down to governance.
We have idea already with identification. When you get the national ID, if you're the national ID, then say it, you know.
Yes.
And get our cover with nationally and locally. And from them get your fingerprint and we name and everything and have it. So when you come on all them out there, them don't know me.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Or worse yet, they didn't make any provision for you. So you live in an area, but the hospital can't accommodate you. You live in an area, but there's no school for your children. You live in an area that you need to traverse to and from, but the road no good. Yet they know that you live in the area because they counted you.
That's not about me.
Yeah, it come down to governance, my brother.
And we have to pay for it.
And we pay for it. Yeah. Because even now you see, there is a headline saying they don't have enough census takers to go out and count the people.
Yeah.
So how them have a plan for the people if they can't even count them?
I tell you from what days I take me I get from my message board.
Census.
Yes, and then thing there and want me to give them my information. But me not give them my information on the phone.
Okay.
Them say them come around and come talk to me.
Yes.
That's what they said they would do.
They are to physically come and count the people.
Yeah.
Yes,
in the days of the Old Testament, they might do census and manage it.
And that's not about. I know them can't manage it.
And now with all the technology and everything that we know about people, we can't manage to count our own population. Stupidness.
What do you mean? I say, the Prime Minister, if you go away. I want this Zoom thing. Them can't Zoom.
They haven't.
They can't see.
Right,
and them I tell you, say, it's the thing now. The now thing. Zoom in and you know, all of them things there. But all of them things get me confused because the bus system, for the year to the bus come, me down at the center, me hear them say, I like the school, the Prime Minister school, you know. When me go down at the work, so we up here, but along one bus.
Yes, which you know can't solve the problem.
Yeah, and in the bus, so them say, I want disabled bus.
But then there was an announcement, because I think Lowell drew it to my attention while we were away, that this year, JUTC is set to reach a high level of loss. That is 14 billions.
14 billion.
Billions. And this is the company with the responsibility to move most of the people in the corporate, in the metropolitan areas.
You see? And you see, maybe I bus stop from after 4, you know. And you see, a one bus pass where it goes, the 2 ram because the bus there's
Jesus. Yes.
One bus load can hold and pull 2 buses, you know.
Yes, the way they write it, I mean, that is public health risk, danger, everything you can talk about.
If a bus should ever crash now, God forbid. I would probably do everything would damage what would happen to the amount of people because it was them ram up, you know. I want to talk about even the police. I would think we talk about, you know.
Yeah.
I watch it now. The police, them know, them in myself, me see them did a plan for the gunman them when in the community, the police. They are them to control the community and the police. So from here, I say, them what this? How the gunman to go control the community? So them do not want the gunman put fear in the people in the community and start rule certain people so you can go certain way. I tell them this long time they want to have way like lamb to slaughter. Have we some in other pen, some to slaughter, some to breed, some to grow. And I tell them have way. So after the police them now, the police them now come to the Batman them. And we the citizens them are come for.
Yes, they have power against the citizen who is unarmed, but those who it's it kind of boiled back to the same thing that you touched on earlier. Every aspect of public life you're seeing dysfunction, and it's really the people who feel the brunt of it that need to protest and to push against it.
Yeah, and me I tell you, hey, it's all in my yard. We have a refugee camp in my yard, we have one house on the way where appear underage baby mother in it.
Oh.
And underage girl where we have a son baby mother. And then we got school and them not going to school. And I call get the ambulance. Then so we call 211. When we call 211, them hang up on me.
Yeah.
But me can't get no service from the government at all. None of them, no way at all. We can't get no service. Open just. Them when look how long that was open just.
Yes, I remember you had mentioned to me. They say you're not eligible to get anything.
Yeah, but eventually now when make some people help me and make me get that money 2 years ago.
Okay.
Give me 80,000. See how long we are to. And so me tell them we can get. So when I come this year, we sign up again. Them all say me too old. Over here. So all that.
No man.
But I want to follow. I want us to follow up with you maybe offline. On some of the things you're mentioning.
Yes, I'm long time you call me and make it up.
So leave the number.
And reason everything and make you understand how the thing go.
Yes.
The engineer going to take your number.
Leave the number with
and make sure you call it this time.
Yeah, man.
All right, we'll go call it. You raise some important.
Yes, that requires some follow up.
What I don't in the hole me there no. And me can me left from the hole and go from the hell to the heaven and from the heaven to the hell. That's how me move.
That's the journey.
So me know actually everything.
All right, my brother, leave your number with Lloyd so we can talk.
And my spirit is here. My spirit know all things.
Okay.
See, because just spirit, just spirit know all things.
Spirit of truth.
So your spirit, you will know. Just observe and know. Well, blessed love to everyone here.
Blessed love. All right, please take the number for us, Lloyd. Please. All right, good. Good morning and welcome.
Pleasant good morning.
Pleasant good morning to you, sir.
Shouldn't hear about as usual. I'll proprietor, but I was listening.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there are 3 issues there, and I will try to, in terms of time, I'll try to be quick as possible, brief as possible.
All right, go ahead, brother.
First one is the tenure of the DPP.
Yes.
Which is extended. The second time it has been extended.
They extended? When that happened?
The DPP, yeah man, our tenure has been, and then about a week back, the Prime Minister has been, she should be an extension of her tenure.
For 1 more year?
I don't know, to be honest, I don't know what the extent of the time, but it has been extended for the second time around.
Okay.
And so for me, she has done a really good job, but I'm wondering if she's irreplaceable.
Indispensable, yeah. Because you have other people in the system, like the deputy guy is a good guy.
Yeah, she's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
No, she has given, to be honest with her, the first time on her extension, she said that there are people that are in the system that is competent to carry on from her. But there are some unfinished issues that to be taken care of. And from what she's saying, that she probably thinks that she's the only one that can take care of those issues.
Really?
She hasn't said in many words, but she said there are people in the system that can take over from her, but there are some unfinished jobs that need to be done. And she wants to do that job. That was the first, her first, in her first statement today. And the second time now, 2 weeks back, extension, she has given the same reason. So I don't know. Anyway, moving on. The second issue now, the Portmore being a second city. I'm wondering what is the push and the need and the urgency, for Portmore, being a second parish. As Miss Minute mentioned earlier on, I was listening to her, she said, winning election, it's all about winning election. So I am wondering if there's an ulterior motive, part of the motive behind, one that Portmore to be a the 15th parish before election is called. And seeing that there's one of the reasons given why the election was being postponed. To me, that is a three-card reason,
Yes, yeah.
We pointed out to that, yeah. So because if you look at what's happening in other places, it's not a reason, not good enough, and it is counter.
That's a reason. That's a reason. And someone lacking for the basic domestic, the amenities that a parish should need.
Yes.
Why not that beneficial to the people over there? What is the benefit that they're going to gain from this push and some of those amenities that in place? I'm wondering.
Yeah, and you're
political.
you're not alone in that speculation, and no answers are being given to satisfy persons that this move to create a new parish is going to add more than it will cost. Because there's a lot of expense to, creating a parish to extend the country's administrative structure in the way that is being proposed. I don't even know that the people of Portmore themselves understand what that means.
Yeah, the implications are,
Really so. I'm repeating myself. And some of the basic domestic amenities are set up in place.
Yeah.
I wonder why they push,
Remember, friend, you see, we have short memories. It was one of the things that was in their manifesto that they would make St. Catherine Parish. You can go back and see it. So them trying to fulfill that, but to what extent? Because some of the other things that they put on their manifestos, which I think are higher priorities, like in terms of things like fixing the corruption thing, all of those things, but those things are lower down because of what is needed in order to fix it. Because in fixing the corruption problem, they have to fix themselves. All the politicians have to fix themselves in terms of how they do business. And if you recall, somebody pointed out to us that is something the word is endemic. Yes, it can.
Yes, moving on. So as Mr. mentioned, it's all about winning election.
Yes.
The third one now. I call this program a number of times and I spoke about the national interest, and from both parties, they try to put there, above the national interest. And this one now, the last one, I see that the government has proposed to remove the dump, the river that's the dump from Great Wall. Where it is at the blueprint for to remove from there now.
Which one? One at
the national dump, Riverton.
Oh, Riverton it out.
Yeah. And in my humble opinion, I think that's a good move. No, I see where the member of parliament for the area, Anthony Hilton, and the extension opposition is opposing the removal of the dump. And the basis that the dump farm is an economic base for the people down here. From the economic base, for the people down here. And
how did they describe this economic base? Because there are real economic opportunities that come out of having garbage disposal in your community. But what were they speaking about?
They're speaking about that a lot, but a person, a people down here get a living from off the dump, from rubbish in the dump.
This is the scavenging now, what we would call scavenging.
Yes, scavenging. So
that is not an opportunity you want to fight to keep.
No, Mr. You're right, and child there.
Yeah.
In the 21st century.
Yeah.
why would you want a dump to remain among the inhabitants?
But on the other side of it, because remember, garbage has become a major thing in terms of people using recycle.
Yes.
Right. So
but the scavenging part is different.
Yeah.
Scavenging part.
Right. So because there are a lot across 2 administrations, if my memory serves me correct, they have put plans on it in terms of turning what is generated in terms of generation of electricity and so on. But scavenging can be a economic.
That's not a profession.
Yeah.
Yes.
They should be seeking to train people on how to sort the garbage, separate it, push what is to be recycled into the right place. That's because that's a job.
Yeah, that's in some countries.
That's a job.
Yes, and from what I understand, because they dump there in the middle of the residence there.
Yes.
It has impacted a number of them health.
Yes, and that's a major concern.
That's a major concern. It has impacted a number of them health down there. With the burning because
right.
From what I understand, the dumps have to be released from time to time for them to be to possible scavenging. And then the fumes coming from the dump has impacted a number of residents down there.
Yes.
So even on that basis, and then what I understand is that the larger percentage of the population down here get living from the dump. It's not a half a population. The refugee dump down here.
Yeah.
And the dump has been happening like some misguided few down here.
Right. Yeah, that's true. No, the treatment of our garbage disposal is a scientific thing now.
Yeah. So on that basis, I don't think the opposition should oppose the removal of that dump.
All right, you move it from there. So what you are speaking to, so we are agreed on a simple principle that garbage is become a major economic activity. All right? There are persons, whether we like it or not, who do a lot of scavenging, but what Minute is advocating that people need to be trained if they're going to do it. But the question now is where you're going to put it, and you need to do a major study. And I know that studies have been done. And people have put money and said, we're willing to do this and so on. But I think why some people are really concerned, is the vote I think about anyway. That's what it is about.
Although they failed some of them, but the government has said that they found a real location to place it down.
All right, so we need to find that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, my brother.
Yeah.
Can we take one more call before the break? Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Respal?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Nice to be back, eh?
Hey, yes, it is.
She come give me, and she land, she start troubling me already, but that's all right.
That's only because I missed him.
Okay. First I want to big up the people in the diaspora.
Yes.
Yeah, because enough people are listening to us.
That's what I've discovered, That's what I discovered recently, yeah man.
And we can't do it without them,
True.
We can't do it without them. Remember, I spoke to you, I don't remember if it's Monday past, and I told you about going to Haiti and telling people about election.
Oh yes, you raised that concern.
That is what the people them saying in Haiti.
Okay.
That is what the people them saying in Haiti said. How can a man come and tell them about election?
And then I hold him election.
and now run film election.
Oh my Lord.
And film election due from 2020.
Oh my Lord.
And go run the election. You know what I mean? So you see all the while that them doing, them go around and then I'm wondering, is any administration that get the amount of money to spend like this administration?
Well, not before. We've hit some new levels now.
In terms of collections and that point is crucial, because the field that was rolled for them was so good in terms of being able to collect money. And the question is what it is that they've done with it.
Yeah, because even the last quarter last year, them predict to spend to collect 30 billion, you know, I end up collecting 80 billion more. You know.
Raspal, we're getting the signal for the break. Can you wait for us? Thank you very much. Bye.
You're simply the best. You're simply the
Best FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Best 100 FM presents the Mature and Moving Up show, Lascelles Butch Chen, on Thursdays from 6 to 9 p.m. Welcome to this pioneering radio program on our continuing worth in our maturing years, compellingly defined to educate and liberate the younger generation. Tune in and welcome.
Your taxes hold. Let's get digital this tax season. File and pay your final income tax return for 2022 and estimated return for 2023 due on March 15 with tax support in so many ways. Start connecting with us through our web hub at jamaicatax.gov.jm, Customer Care Center 888 Tax Help or Special Taxpayer Assistance Program. Tutorials available online. All income tax returns, including individual, must be filed online and on time by March 15. Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
Do you need reliable health care? We have it. Yes, we do. Great George Street Pharmacy. Shop number 897 Great George Street, Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland. Opening hours, Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call us at 876-603-7372 or WhatsApp us at 876-205-0499. Yes, we have reliable health care for you at Great George Street Pharmacy, Savannah Lamar.
Jamaica and the world, you want us back? We are back. The True Deliverance Ministry, led by me, the prophet Mark Stewart, right here on Best 100 FM. This and every Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Yes, it's War Room Thursday. Come on out and join us, each and every one, on Best 100 FM, 100.1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Come on out. Join me, the prophet, Reverend Mark Stewart, and of course, the boss shot, Apostle Marshall. Come for your healing, breakthrough, deliverance, the prayer, the miracle, the word, the testimony, and so much more. Yes, my friends, Best 100 FM, Best 100 FM, War Room Thursday, 9 p.m. to 12 midnight. Join us. We are going to lick it.
Ready for the warfare. Ready for the warfare.
Hello. Pastor Howard Palmer here, coming to you from New York City this and every Saturday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's right, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. this and every Saturday morning, right here on Best 100 FM. Don't you miss it.
Best 100 FM is the authentic voice of Jamaica, promoting your prosperity with better vibes and better music. Let us promote your goods and services for you. Advertise with us. For more information, call our office at 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328. That is 876-276-5072 or 876-883-5328.
Having trouble getting parts for your Mazda? Maljam Auto Parts is your solution. Find Maljam at the new and convenient location off Upper Walton Park Road at 9 Kingswood Avenue. Maljam Auto Parts, with over 25 years experience, providing all Mazda parts, new and used. Call 923-4389 and 461-1786. Maljam Auto Parts, serving your Mazda needs.
Here we are, standing in the presence
Glory Connect! Glory Connect! Join us on Best FM with Apostle Prophetess Denise Wellington and Pastor Alicia Gonzalez Morgan every Saturday at 4 p.m. on Best FM Radio. Come out and discover your purpose. Take up that phone and dial now. Call and experience something new. Experience something great. Experience your own expression of encountering the supernatural glory of God's abundant life and transformation being fulfilled. What are you waiting for? Are you depressed, oppressed, worn out, tired, or stressed? Have you discovered your true purposes yet? This is the moment. What are you